Hello, twisted humans.
Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked. Hello and welcome to episode 195 of this fear-inducing podcast. We don't always induce fear, but today we likely will, as I will be telling you about an alien conspiracy. I read a book for this episode, and I want to just give a quote from the introduction right off the bat.
Oh, goodness.
Quote, "The two most popular quasi-theological interpretations of the abduction phenomenon are the paranoid version of underground-based alien devils who feast on our flesh and vital bodily fluids with the full cooperation of the government and the CIA, and the rosy-tinted myth that ETs are simply misunderstood space brothers who stand ready to meet us and chat with us in peace and light. These men report that permission was not asked by their captors, and both physical and psychological pain ensued. They do not seek to demonize the UFO occupants, but neither do they try to excuse what is, by human moral standards, inexcusable behavior." End quote. Before I get into the inexcusable behavior that is written about, we need fun facts. What do you have for me?
Well, I knew in advance that this episode was going to be space-related, so I brought a space-related fun fact. The planet, I know it's not really the planet if it's space, but, where we exist is so cool. So scientists discovered a massive reservoir of water floating throughout space equivalent to 140 trillion times all of the water on in Earth's oceans. So it just floats around in space. And it's just
Just a
bunch
ball
of
of water.
Just a bunch of fucking water. Yeah.
Like, not individual droplets, like a planet that is made up of only water.
Basically, that's my
That's
understanding.
definitely where the mermaids live.
Well, we've solved the mystery, guys. We'll see you next week. No, for sure that's where the mermaids live. But I was like, what? I knew that there was water on planets, but not fucking
Yeah,
in
that's
doing
crazy.
its little thing. I just picture like a little earthworm of water floating around space.
Yeah.
What is your fun fact?
My fun fact is about pendulums. Pendulums are a great tool for tapping into your own subconscious.
Yes.
Apparently, if you are very relaxed while holding the pendulum still, your subconscious mind will move it to answer yes or no questions that are in your brain that conscious minds can't remember. According to medium.com, you can use this tool to find something that you've lost, as your subconscious knows where it is. And according to this book, the technique has even been used by detectives in the past to get information from suspects or witnesses of a crime. I feel like we do not use pendulums enough in 2025, and everyone should be using this tool more.
100%. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it in terms of finding something that's lost, but that's kind of
Right.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Because you panic about stuff when you lose it. You're like, "Okay, I'll retrace my steps. Okay, I'll do this." And oh,
Yeah.
I gotta try that next time I lose something. I don't lose things very often. I have a partial eidetic memory where I can mostly picture things in my brain, but sometimes I get so ADHD that I put something down and I cannot for my life remember where I put it. I was
Right.
looking for my phone the other day and it was under the bath mat on the edge of the tub because I got out of the bathtub and put the bath mat back over and I left. And
Yeah.
it would be nice for me remembering those little ADHD spaz moments. Oh, where did you have it last? In the bathtub.
Yep.
Silly.
It would be nice.
But I like it. I need a pendulum too. I feel bad
have,
being in
4.
the witchy realm of interests when I don't even have one.
I have 4, and
Yeah,
I've
but
never
you have a
used them.
board. Yeah.
Right. I have the board, but I've never used them on myself. I didn't know I could use them on myself.
Yeah, that's true. It's usually
That's
an outer
crazy.
existence
Yeah.
kind of interaction. So yeah. Try it. Let me know how it works.
I definitely will.
Especially because you're moving soon, so you're gonna be
Yeah,
misplacing shit all the time.
very true. Speaking of tools, today's episode pairs well with a drink I found called Sweet Dreams. And it's a great tool for helping you fall asleep and stay asleep, which you will definitely want to do if you think these things that we're going to talk about might be happening to you at night. Also, in the picture,
It's beautiful.
it looks really galaxy-esque,
Mhm, mhm.
right? I'm
I
going to
was
share
really
the
hoping
picture because
you would
mine
address this.
does not look like that. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the picture.
Insert photo here. Yeah, yeah,
Beautiful.
very pretty. Mine's purple.
Yeah,
Yep,
I have the blue on
yours is
top.
purple too.
Like,
Okay.
there's blue on top, you can tell,
Yeah,
but it
'cause Spirulina always floats.
yeah, it didn't separate, though,
Mhm.
for some reason, and I've
That's a
just got
very cute
stuff
mug,
all over
though.
me. Oh my gosh, read it. Can you?
Cup of Ambitions. That's cute.
It's
That's
a
very
Dolly
cute.
Parton mug!
Yeah, that's very cute. Where did you
And
find
really,
that?
the dollar store?
Fucking rights.
I know. The very top of it says, "Pour myself," and then it says, "Cup of Ambitions."
That's
Like,
very
this is
cute.
amazing.
That's very cute. Mine is in my, Witch's Brew cup, and, the reason I specifically put it in I mostly drink things that are not pretty out of cups like this or smoothies because I have very few straw situations. But I will say I was like, "Ooh, I failed Sierra because mine is just purple. I just have purple
Yeah.
Kool-Aid over here."
Yeah, it did not work. It's good, though.
I think that it's still a very pretty drink. Purple reminds me of space too, and, I put mine in here because I thought Sierra was gonna come out with a beautifully separated galaxy drink, queen of the bartenders over there, and I'm like, "I have purple drink."
Yeah. Well, the fact that it's called Sweet Dreams is also a good pairing, so it doesn't have to be Galaxy-esque if you can't get it there. But by the way, the ingredients, it's half a cup of tart cherry juice, 1 thumb of microplaned ginger, the juice of half a lime, and sparkling water, all mixed together, and then 2 ounces of coconut cream mixed with 1 tablespoon, nope, teaspoon of powdered magnesium, which I used the spirulina,
Spirulina,
spirulina, there we go, for the blue because I didn't have blue
AKA our
magnesium.
blue algae that we busted out probably 100 episodes ago when we did the blue raspberry sangria. It
I
was
feel like
very
my teeth
tasty.
are turning blue.
No, you can't tell on my side. No, you're good.
Yeah, you pour that over the top and it's supposed to kinda just sit on top. Mine did not sit on top, but it's fine. It's fine,
It's
it's good.
fine, still
It's
delicious.
delicious. I have been drinking tart cherry juice every single day before I go to bed this week. It helps me sleep, it really does. Or I'm just really tired because I've been going to the gym and working on the house, so
I think that
both
I
things.
think that something in cherries is good for, like,
Yeah.
calming your nervous
I
system.
I first saw that tart cherry juice was good for sleep, on a TikTok video a long, long time ago. I just never tried it until recently because a bunch of mocktails I found have tart cherry juice in it.
Cherries are a natural source of melatonin.
Ah, yeah,
There it is.
perfect.
Cherries also contain tryptophan, AKA turkey, guys. You're always sleepy after eating a turkey. Alright, that checks out. That's interesting. I
AKA turkey.
like, when you're like, turkeys
Cherries
have
do not have turkeys in them, I promise they're vegan.
cher tryptophan is also in turkey
Yes,
is what I
yes.
was trying to say. Yeah, what, you didn't follow that thought pattern? God. No, and I couldn't actually find just straight cherry juice. I have cherry raspberry juice,
What?
but it's still really good. It's still really good.
You couldn't find cherry
I think
juice?
it's because I didn't go to the fancy, expensive grocery store. It wasn't like there's a
At
wall of
our
juice, and
yeah.
they didn't have just cherry juice. It was like cherry this and cherry with that, and
Did you look for tart?
yes.
Okay. I don't know if they do it, like, alphabetical or something, I don't know why
It's
I would think
super
that, but
tart
anyway,
anyway because mine is cherry, cranberry, so
yeah.
it's tart
I
anyway.
ever since that, TikTok video went viral of that girl who drank tart cherry juice and then, like, fell asleep instantly or whatever, said she had a
It's
really good sleep.
very popular now.
It's extreme like, there's, like, 8 different brands out of Walmart.
It's
of
like
tart cherry juice. And I'm like, which
I don't
one's the
think that
good one?
translated to Canada because I
That's
know I have it
crazy.
at a grocery store here, but it's expensive. So I tried to
Oh,
go
it
to
is
their local
expensive.
one,
Yeah.
and then I
It's
was
like
like,
$8 a bottle.
but it's like, yeah, it's like pomegranate juice in that way. It's
Yeah.
good for you. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's worth the investment, but
It is.
at least this way I can use it for other cocktails. So
Yes.
I'll call it a win because cranberry's good and everything, but it is super tart. I don't think I don't know what I didn't add enough of, but if I'm making this face throughout it, it's just because I'm getting a little zap of tart. It's still really good though. I like it.
It's so good. I love it. But I also, again, like I just said, have been drinking tart cherry juice every night, so I might just be used to it.
You
Um,
love your cherries.
I do love cherries. So anyway, you all listeners, go get your drinks ready while we listen to this promo from the last trip, and then we will get into the story. You ready?
Mhm.
Here we go. In 1978, 26-year-old Jim Weiner fell at his home. Listen, get it out because the word wiener, penis, testicles, it's going to be said a lot tonight. All
Okay.
right.
You can't just brush over and because it made me think of that episode of Friends when Rachel's like, "Wiener" on the phone after her pediatrician kicks them off, like, fires
Yeah.
them because she keeps calling like a crazy person. Sorry, that's where my brain went. As you continue.
26-year-old Jim Weiner fell at his home and sustained brain damage. He recovered from this incident, but ever since then, he had been experiencing strange aches, pains, and nightmares. He probably needed a sweet dreams mocktail.
Yeah, I'm really hoping this will mean I don't have nightmares tonight. Here's hoping.
He felt sick to his stomach at random times, would have chest pains, side pains, and numbness, and vivid nightmares that he felt were more real than normal dreams. He had been going to many doctors, including a doctor at the Harvard University Medical School Department of Neurology and a neuroepilepsy nurse specialist at Beth Israel Hospital in Boston. Jim was diagnosed with temporolimbic epilepsy, which
Mm.
has symptoms that include deja vu, dissociative states with out of body experiences, panic attacks, chest pains, and hallucinations. However, at least the two doctors that I just mentioned do not believe that TLE is the only thing responsible for the nightmares that Jim had expressed to them. Before even hearing that he had once seen a UFO, his doctors suggested that he go to a MUFON event, Mutual UFO Network, and ask for advice from a ufologist. And so he went to a symposium and met Ray Fowler.
How does one become a ufologist? Like, how do I apply for this job and am qualified, you know?
You gotta go talk to the Blink 182 guy.
Travis Smith. All right, noted. Will do. I'll get around. I'll have his people call my people.
Yeah, exactly. Talking to ufologist Ray Fowler brought up memories for Jim that he didn't realize he had. Eventually, Jim and the friends who had that UFO sighting with him underwent hypnosis to uncover the things that they had suppressed in their minds. It's important to know that none of them remembered these things before hypnosis, and that they claimed and promised not to speak to each other in between hypnosis sessions so that one friend could not poison the other's minds. First, let's meet our victims. Jim and Jack Weiner are identical twins, brothers who were born in October of 1952 in Pennsylvania. They were movie typical twins who did everything together, liked all the same things, invented their own language, and felt that they had twin telepathy. They enjoyed the outdoors as kids, with strict but loving parents who, quote, provided the most loving environment possible, end quote.
Oh.
However, they did live in a seemingly haunted house.
There it is.
Jack and Jim mentioned Harry the ghost somewhat nonchalantly during their discussion with Ray. When asked to explain further, Jim said that he would hear voices at night and hear weird music that sounded like a drum beating slowly. He also thought he could hear someone calling out his name and knocking on the walls.
Absolutely not.
Jack said his first interaction with Harry the Ghost was when he, a scary looking monster, was floating next to Jack's bed and eventually pulled the covers down to look at 5-year-old Jack before vanishing into thin air. He remembered wanting to scream but not being able to. Okay, I have to pause right here because the entire time I read this book, I just kept thinking, something similar has happened to me. This is bringing up a memory for me. I think
Sierra!
this happened to me. So, specifically, I have always remembered this. None of my parents, like, every time I say it, they're like, oh, you were just being dramatic or whatever.
My
I
eyes are literally
used to
watering.
think that something was pulling the covers off my blankets. We made an entire thing of it. We used to say that a man and a woman lived in the house we lived in with a dog, and the man hung himself. There was this arch in our house. We were like, the man hung himself right there, and the dog died too. And then the woman died of heartbreak. None of that happened. None of that. That was just a story we made up to explain, I don't know, whatever we thought was happening. We used to say that the dog was biting the blanket and pulling it off of us at night. But I don't know if that actually happened or if that's just what I remember because we were little kids talking crap. Like, I don't know. But this freaked me out, okay? I might interject like this a couple times because there's a couple things that I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, this sounds familiar to me.
Welcome to Sierra's childhood trauma. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I think I need hypnosis. Also, don't want it. Don't want it,
I
okay?
need it, but I don't
This
wanna know. I don't wanna know. No, thank you. I don't
is
think
why
I
I've been
wanna know.
drinking, tart cherry juice for a week, okay?
Depending
I
on what
just
your
wanna go to
findings
sleep.
are, I don't know if I wanna know. Don't bring me into that world of trauma.
In other instances, Jack also remembered hearing the knocking, the voices, and even footsteps. He said that his feet would be grabbed, his covers pulled, doors would open and close on their own, electronics would go on or off, and objects would move on their own. At first, the twins said, their parents would just comfort them and say it was a bad dream. Eventually, though, their mom would say something like, oh, it's just Harry the ghost again. He will go away. They slept in their mom's bed for a long time because they were scared at night. Guess who slept in her mom's bed until I was in 6th grade? Why the fuck did I do that?
Aw.
6th grade.
Yeah, that's
Why?
pretty late. My
That's
dad
really like
got
people
fed
make
up
fun of
when
me
I was
all the
9.
time.
Oh.
I like every time I say it, I'm like, I know I'm weird. Like that's why I don't sleep good in a bed by myself at all ever
Yeah.
anymore. Even after that, me and my sister shared a bed until I graduated high school. Like, not even
Oh.
kidding. I always need to be touching another person when I'm sleeping. Like, if
Oh.
Jesse doesn't come home or is out of town or whatever, I sleep with the kids. I
So
tell
if,
them, come get in my bed.
so if you come visit me ever, am I just gonna have to get, like, a bunch of squishmallows ready?
Yes.
Just build a body for you.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I'm
why?
I
Is
don't
this
sleep
some
well by myself either,
deep
so
rooted stuff in my brain? Like, what the fuck
maybe
is
maybe you have undealt with trauma because you were, like, peeked at by a floating alien person.
Oh my god, it gets so much worse than being peeked at. Okay,
Yeah, that
let's
was already
continue.
creepy. No, I don't want to. I'm scared. I don't wanna not like aliens.
The ufologist asked the twins' mother about Harry, and she confirmed the events and even claimed to see a ghost who was humanoid, glowingly white in a long robe, and seemed to float right out of their closed door after being spotted by her and her husband in their bedroom.
Gross.
Crazy. And she was Catholic. And she was like, oh yeah, I saw
True.
that fucking ghost.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, yeah, sure. It's a normal night here at our house. Happens all the time."
The twins stopped seeing Harry the Ghost at age 15 when Jack's final paranormal experience occurred. A glowing yellow orb of light floated right into his kitchen window where he was, past him, through the house, and then out another window.
Okay.
Harry the Ghost wasn't the only paranormal thing that the twins experienced as kids, though. Jim had experienced at least one lost time instance as a child that he could remember. He was sledding out on a hill and specifically remembered leaving as soon as the sun started to set. because he knew he would be in trouble if he wasn't home for dinner. But somehow he was still very late. Another weird, maybe paranormal thing that Jim recalled from childhood was actually something he couldn't remember. His whole family remembered the time that he went missing when he was young. He had been outside playing in the snow and fell into a utility hole of some kind, where he was eventually found almost frozen to death. Maybe his brain blocked it out because it was too traumatic, but he says he cannot remember it no matter how hard he tries.
Oh.
After Catholic grade school and public high school, the twins went on to college, Jim at Mansfield State College and Jack at Massachusetts College of Art, where he met friends Chuck and Charlie, who would, of course, be Jim's friends as well. Chuck Rack was born in January of 1949 to a wealthy family in Massachusetts. His dad, though, was abusive, and his mom was an alcoholic. Because of the wealth and likely the guilt, Chuck's dad took him to extravagant places as a teen like England and Germany and Italy. It's Chuck from Gossip Girl. Chuck also seemed to have a bit of a paranormal childhood, though not nearly as active as the twins. He only remembered the scary encounters from the ages of 4 to 6. He said he would feel a presence in his room at night sometimes and thought he'd see little people that were all white. He didn't know what they were doing in his room, but he'd just go and sleep with his parents when he got scared. He also had a curious experience with a MUFON investigator at the age of 25 in 1974. He was in Vermont that year during a snowstorm when he saw a man covered in blood walking down the side of the road. He took the dazed man to the hospital where he made a full recovery, and Chuck checked in on him at the hospital for a time. That is when he learned that the man was a MUFON investigator and was in the area investigating a strange occurrence at a farm with crop circles and men in black. But that's a whole nother episode for another day. Okay. This guy crashed his car. That's why he was bloody. He's fine.
But definitely unsettling timing, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thanks. Can't you see that we're going through some shit right now?
Yeah.
Oh, could you not have crashed your car next Tuesday?
Our final victim is Charlie. Charlie Fultz was born in January of 1950 in Pennsylvania, but was raised on a farm in Ohio. He had a happy, mundane childhood working on the farm with his dad, and then working on water pumps for the community with his dad. When he was old enough, he joined the Navy for a 4-year stint disposing of radioactive waste from the military's nuclear program. Charlie never experienced anything paranormal in his life until the incident that we are going to talk about today. But he did once see something that he thought might have been a UFO while he was in the Navy. It was during a classified mission, so he couldn't give much information away, but it was in 1970 near Spain. He and the other crew saw a glowing orb-type thing hovering over them for a while before taking off as if it were just observing for a bit. Alright, so now let's get into the incident at hand. The Allagash incident.
I already don't like the name, just for the
Well, Allagash is a place in Maine, just so you
well,
know.
it's an unfortunate name for the disturbing things we are talking about, okay?
It is a little bit.
I don't like it.
Gash, yeah.
Ugh. Feels
Jack
sinister.
Jack, Jim, Chuck, and Charlie planned a camping trip to the Allagash in Maine in 1976. The trip was for multiple days of camping, as well as hiking, canoeing, and fishing for their food during the trip. They drove all through the night Friday the 20th to get started on their adventure on Saturday. The trip started out great. They recuperated Saturday, hiked all day Sunday, rode one of the boat plane things that take you, it's like a boat. I mean, it's a plane, but it lands on the water. I don't know what it's called. Pontoon, something. Anyway,
I feel like
over to
a
the pond.
pontoon is like a party boat,
Yeah,
like
that's
one
what
of
I
those
thought
big
too.
I don't yeah.
But they said something. Okay, whatever. Y'all know what it looks like. They did that on Monday and then spent the day Tuesday in the canoe. Tuesday night, the 4 friends, along with many other campers, were at the campsite and noticed a strange ball of light in the sky. It was so bright, there for just a minute, and then blinked out of sight. Everyone at the campsite, including strangers, seemed to be mesmerized by the ridiculously bright light while it was there, pointing at it and talking about it. But once it was gone, everyone went about their night, assuming it must have been a planet that was visible for just a bit, like sometimes they are. This was fact-checked later on, though, and it was most likely not a planet. There was a planet that was scheduled to be visible that night, but not that bright and not at the time that these four and the other campers reported seeing that light. So, weird. Anyway, the next day was Wednesday and the weather had turned bad. It rained all day long and allowed them to just relax at the campsite. But they wanted to stick to their itinerary and were a bit stressed that they couldn't canoe out to their next fishing hole. Thursday, the 26th, was sunny and beautiful, so they headed out early. They needed fish this day to replenish their storage, but they weren't having any luck catching anything. Thursday night, they decided to try their luck at night fishing. Out in the wilderness, surrounded by black waters at night would be dangerous, though, so they
And my
made
worst
a
nightmare.
So they made a huge fire, probably bigger than they should have if they were being forest fire safe, but big enough that they would know the way back to their campsite when they were done fishing. All four of them piled into just one canoe for this excursion as well, because safety in numbers. While trying to find a spot out on the water, they saw that big ball of light again, the one from Tuesday. The moon was new, with only 2% visibility on this day, so it couldn't have been the moon, which is something I researched myself because I was like, is it the moon though? It's not.
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
I would also just like to point out that seaplanes are what we were looking for, the
It's just
word
called a seaplane? That's lame.
seaplanes.
That's
I
super
know.
lame. Wow. Okay.
I
A
just yeah,
seaplane.
I really felt like I needed to correct us before somebody yelled. Also, I called the drummer from Blink-182 Travis Smith at the beginning of this. His name is Travis Barker. I feel as though I needed to protect us. So
I don't think Travis Barker is the
you don't think so?
UFO one, though.
You don't think so?
I don't think it's Travis
There's
Barker.
only
I
one
know it's.
Travis in Blink-182.
I don't know if it's a
It's
Travis.
the drummer, though, right?
No, I don't think it is. Isn't Travis Barker the one that married the Kardashian?
I
That's
think
not the
so.
UFO guy.
Well, then why are you talking about Blink-182?
Because, hang on, let me see which one it is. Blink 182 UFO. Tom DeLonge.
Oh, it's not the drummer.
It's
Okay.
not the drummer.
Okay. Okay. That's even better. Okay.
I
Okay.
know.
I like
Travis
that.
Barker can't be trusted. He's with the
Yeah, no.
Kardashians.
Well, that's what I was like, that's interesting. Like, I guess you can have a wide range of interests.
Not that wide. Kardashians and UFOs. Come on.
I don't know. You've met Amanda Goodness, right?
That's very true. She's the exception.
No one else is allowed.
No one else. Okay. So Chuck saw the light first and he was immediately transfixed by it. He said it was like a pulsating fluid or plasma all around the sphere, changing colors from red to green to yellow,
Cool.
hovering motionless and without sound.
Ugh.
Eventually, the others turned and noticed as well, saying it was about the size of a house. Charlie, the military man, held up a large flashlight for the group. Held the large flashlight for the group and decided to signal at the thing. And then suddenly it began coming straight towards them, turning on a beam of light that emanated from the bottom of the sphere like a triangle all the way to the water. The twins and Charlie were terrified and began paddling, the twins with just their arms, as fast as they could towards their fire on shore. Chuck, though, was still transfixed. In what seemed like a literal blink of an eye, the canoe was at shore and the men were watching the weird ball of light float away until it blinked out, just like the thing from Tuesday. Did you
Are you
giggle because
yeah,
of Blink
yeah,
182?
yeah,
I
yeah.
am not doing any of this on purpose. Blink 182 was not in my notes. Not
Well,
even a
when you
little
said
bit.
it the second time, I was like, "She's doing this on purpose."
Not at all.
Find another adjective. No, your stories are always wonderful, but I'm just like, that has to actually, you know what? I've noticed a lot of serendipity, though, and stuff that we talk about on the sides and
Yeah,
stuff that it just works. It's
it
fine.
does. The four friends, now at shore, were very calm and very exhausted, maybe in shock. They noticed that the fire was pretty much out, which was weird considering they had been on the water for only like 30 minutes. But they just wanted to sleep and didn't talk about it again until 12 years later, when Jim found Ray Fowler at the convention and convinced his friend to let Ray investigate what was happening in his nightmares and if it was related to their sighting. Spoiler alert, it was. Um, so this is another thing that I have told you guys before, that I'm pretty sure I had a UFO sighting. But every time I tell it, I realize in the moment and even say like, we just didn't talk about it after that. I don't know. Why? Why did we not talk about it after? Like, what the fuck happened?
It's not a
Why?
normal drive, so
Like, we weren't even driving, we were walking.
No,
We were
oh, I was talking about when you were with Jesse and that big shadow came over you guys that
Oh
you
yeah,
couldn't
no,
see.
that one we talked about. No, me and my friend, when we saw the
Yes, when
thing
you
that was
guys
possibly a
were
flying
doing
car.
Adderall.
Yeah, listen, okay. For some reason, we're just like, oh, that just happened. Okay, let's pretend like it didn't and never talked about it again.
I mean, I
Like,
can't say I blame you, like, otherwise you have to process it.
or keep listening. All
Oh,
right.
no!
So let's talk about their hypnosis sessions. Each friend underwent hypnosis separately and without the others present. Some of them underwent more than one session. Chuck's session was the shortest. Remember, he was the one who claimed to be mesmerized in the canoe. But the author of this book later characterized Chuck as a macho man type. And I think that sums it up perfectly. Even under hypnosis, when he's talking about everything that happened, he seemed to me to be very matter of fact. This is what happened. I don't have any feelings about it. Charlie, on the other hand, was very nervous for his session and even during his session. He told what he remembered, but he did it with a lot of metaphors, kind of like he was disassociating in a way that would make it more sensible. Jack and Jim, though, they went all in, all the way relaxed, all the way opened up. After piecing together what happened from each individual account I read from the book, this is the gist, okay? This is a very long book. I'm not going to read every single person's.
I don't know if I wanna read well, you told me I have to read the book.
Look at my
Oh, shit.
There's a
The
lot,
book
okay?
yeah, the book ASMR sticky note edition.
Sticky note
I will
edition.
read it, I will definitely read it. Maybe I'll steal it from you next time I see you. Um, and, I,
At least read my notes. I made like little scared, sad faces on a bunch of spots because I was like, I don't want to read this.
You
And
need to
then
keep that book.
listen.
That's so
Here's what.
funny.
In one of these,
That
in
needs
one
to
of the
be
notes,
embossed.
I literally wrote, oh, where's it? I don't know how far I got into the book, but in one of these notes, on one of the, there it is. I just saw it. Oh, that's not it either. Anyway, in one of these spots, I wrote, was I abducted? Like, what the fuck?
I love it.
So,
No, I'm
okay.
excited. I'm
Anyway,
excited. I'll read the page and then be like, "Oh, yeah, okay,
yeah.
that checks out." Yeah, I'm renting that one from the Library of Sierra. I don't want the generic
Yes.
version
Yes, you have
without
to
the
get the
panic.
annotated one with all the scared
Oh,
sad faces.
no. Oh. That's cute.
They're everywhere. They're
That's
all
really
over.
cute.
I have a bunch of underlines, but when I was like, this entire paragraph scares me, I just put a scared sad face. Like, oh my god.
That's pretty accurate. Your face just made the accurate face for that. if YouTube watchers, if my camera changed, I apologize. I kicked my desk and my webcam went awry. This is as close as Imma get it.
The four friends went onto the water to fish, but before they even started, they saw the UFO. Then they signaled it. It shot down a beam, and they started paddling as fast as they could away from it. After hypnosis, they finally remembered they did not escape that beam. It encapsulated them in its light. They all described this as like a tube or a tunnel, but being inside of it was different for each of them. Chuck said that he was getting
I know I
drawn.
look ridiculous with my headphones on, but
Oh, yeah,
I'm scared.
you should be. Chuck said that he was getting drawn up towards the ball, but couldn't explain how. Jim said he didn't like the feeling of being in the tube. It looked like it was moving, like when you blow smoke into light and it reflects it.
Oh, yeah. That's a very good descriptor. Well done, sir. I picture that immediately.
Charlie described basically being beamed up, saying that he could see the canoe still on the water way down below him.
Absolutely not.
Jack said that the tube was like glass, but not glass, and that it made him feel funny and come apart. Quote, I'm screaming, and my eyes are open real wide, and my mouth is open real wide, and my tongue is sticking out, and my ears are coming off, and I feel like I'm thick. I feel like I'm thick. End quote.
I don't
What?
I don't like that.
No, I don't like any of this. I thought I liked aliens. I thought we were friends.
When I say I feel like I'm thick, it's like I'm having a bloaty day. Not whatever this shit
Not
is.
whatever this is. Once they were up on the UFO, the four men felt paralyzed, but were, one at a time, inspected by the beings who inhabited it. They all
Nice.
four described the beings in almost the same way. Humanoid, with arms
Uh-huh.
and legs, big heads, small necks, four fingers that were kind of claw machine-like, sheen, full body suits. They had large black eyes that were described as being bug-like or almond-shaped, dark or black or the shiny color of a beetle.
Hate that.
They had no eyelids, but some inner membrane thing that sort of came together in a blinking motion like frogs or
Hate
birds.
I hate that the most.
They said either there were no ears or just holes for ears or just small little
Oh!
bumps. No nose or small bump, as a nose or small holes for a nose,
What
and
is
no
it,
mouth.
Voldemort? Like, a beetle colored Voldemort? Like, this is terrifying.
And no mouth or just a slit line as a mouth like a turtle.
Ugh. Every part of that
It's basically
description, I would've
this.
just black No! I don't wanna see. No.
This wasn't their drawing, but I mean,
Okay,
basically.
that's basically you gotta send me a picture of that for
Oh, I'll show you all of their drawings if you want it.
you gotta send me pictures for the post. Ugh, hate it.
Yeah, all of them are creepy. They all
It
drew
looks
their own
really
version.
mad.
Yes.
No. And terrify the rest of our listeners.
They said the beings didn't ever talk to each other, but did make head moving and hand moving gestures that seems like they were talking and understanding each other. They also said that even though the beings never talked to them, they did things that the beings wanted them to do, including forgetting all of this, because they just really felt like the beings wanted them to do certain things, and if they didn't, it would be bad.
Okay.
One of the things the beings wanted them to do, one by one, was get undressed, completely naked.
Why are they so pervy and, like, interested in the human body?
Quote, they made me take it off. I just got the impression that if I didn't do that, I was going to be in trouble. End quote. All four men remembered getting undressed and seeing each other get undressed. They also remembered as they got undressed and then inspected, the other three just sat on a bench and didn't help. But they also remember being on the bench and feeling paralyzed and not being able to help.
Okay. That's sad.
So, like, at first they're like, why aren't my friends helping me? And then they're like, oh, wait, now I'm sitting down and I can't help. I want to help, but I can't
Yeah.
help.
Yeah. I don't like that. That's like sleep paralysis. Like you're
Yes.
awake, but you can't.
Drink your sweet dreams.
Ugh,
Don't wake
fuck
up.
me.
Don't wake
Yeah,
up tonight.
I hope I don't. No, thank you.
Jack said that they lifted his head up by the chin really far and inspected his neck. When the being touched his wrist, he said it felt like caterpillars. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. They lifted his arm up and inspected it. They used some sort of metal rod to scrape and scoop under his arms,
Ugh.
the backs of his knees and his calves, and between his thighs. Then they walked him over to a machine that seemed like it was in a doctor's office. The machine was over top of Jack, sort of like a tray just above his chest, which meant that he couldn't really see what was happening to the lower part of his body,
Yeah,
but
that's
he
great.
could feel it. Quote, "They're touching my penis. They put something on it. I can feel it. It's going in. I don't like it. I'm peeing. I can't stop. It's hurting." End quote.
Put a catheter in him, that poor man. Oh,
Next, he stood up again and felt that the beings were telling him everything would be okay. Quote, "They're putting something in me, up my ass. It burns. It's like an enema, but no, it's not so bad. They're saying it's not so bad, and I'm saying, okay, it's not so bad." End quote. So they're like hurting him, and they're like, "This doesn't hurt. This doesn't hurt." And he's like, "Ow, oh, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt." Like they're like
that's fucking
hypnotizing
creepy.
him. In Jim's hypnosis session, he said that the being seemed interested in the fact that he and Jack looked exactly alike. He also remembered watching these things happen to his brother Jack. So like first one of them was
Oh,
questioned and then the other one was and the other one not questioned, but under hypnosis.
yeah.
The other one would say, "I saw this and this and this happen to him." When he just said, "I saw this and this happen to me." You know what I mean? Like they're cooperating.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Um Most of what happened to Jack happened to Jim as well. The same things with the arms. Then they inspected his genitals. The hypnotist asked Jim what it felt like when the beings touched him, and Jim said, "Like bugs." Ugh.
I
It's
can't.
so bad. It's so
Okay,
bad.
anything involving
Caterpillars,
bugs, I'm
bugs.
immediately out. That they
Ugh.
have beetle-like skin, I hate it. Ugh.
It's disgusting. And if you think about the representation of a giant alien head on a skinny neck, it's kind of
Looks
like an ant.
it is.
It's like a bug. They're like bugs.
I'm gonna vomit.
It's disgusting. I'm sorry, aliens, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe you're assholes.
Yeah, well, you're non-consenting butt putting up things right now. I'm so frazzled. Ah. Also, like, what probing stories do we ever hear that's, like, consensual, but also
Yeah.
yeah, Stanley doesn't like it either, guys.
I know, he won't shut up.
Ugh.
So, Jim wasn't compliant at first, and he said that the beings poked him in his ribs when he didn't listen. Eventually, Jim was also walked to the table like Jack was. He said they kept touching his penis like they wanted him to get an erection and give a sperm sample, but he was too grossed out.
Yeah.
Eventually, he told them, or thought toward them, he can just do it himself. And he did. He gave them a sperm sample. So remember, Jim,
So he masturbated in front of aliens, is what you're telling me.
he did.
Okay.
Right into a test tube.
Oh,
Um,
I mean, that's really the
so,
lesser of the two evils in that situation.
yeah. Because if it feels like bugs, how can you, like, is this Ogtha the cockroach? I'm not sure.
Oh, good thought. Every time you say, like, bugs, it's like a visceral reaction in
Yeah.
my body. Like, I don't know how you got through this book. I literally
It
feel like
was
I'm gonna
difficult.
vomit
Yeah.
every time you say those words.
Yeah. Okay, but I just want to point out that this is happening in 1976. Jim did not have his fall, which caused TLE, until 2 years later in 1978. And then 2 years after
Oh,
that is when he started dreaming about weird things.
okay.
So this is not oh, this is all a hallucination because you have TLE. He didn't fall for 2 more years.
No, I think he had repressed trauma that
That after his fall
yeah,
resurfaced.
yeah,
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 yeah. He did let slip during his hypnosis that he believes he was visited again in 1980, but we'll get
absolutely
to that
no.
in a little bit. First, we need to talk about what happened to Chuck and Charlie.
Oh, do we have to? It was
There's 4
horrible.
of them.
It was horrible. I'm so sorry for you.
It is horrible. When it was Charlie's turn for hypnosis, it was hard for him to remember much because he was scared in the actual moment. He remembered not wanting to open his eyes while he was
Fair.
being observed by the beings in the UFO. Thankfully, he did at least a few times, and the hypnotist was able to get a lot out of those times, as well as his feelings. He remembered seeing the examination of both Jack and Jim, and then, after much deep, deep relaxation, he finally remembered being examined himself. He said the beings took skin samples, swabbed his mouth, took blood from his neck, took urine, feces, hair, fingernail and toenail clippings. He said they scraped the insides of his thighs and his groin, probed his testicles, and examined his penis, taking a swab there as well. Of what, I don't know.
I mean, this is an uncomfortable thing in a medical setting as it is.
Yeah,
But this is non-consensual. You're not knowing what's happening, and it's like bug-like people. Like
yeah.
this is
Like
awful.
fucking monsters.
Awful. Ugh.
In Chuck's account, his penis is also greatly examined. Quote, they just seem very interested in that part of my body.
Maybe
They're
they
looking
don't
at
have
it intensely. They put more light on it. It's almost like something fluttering, like a butterfly. It's coming down. Something oozes from my penis. They take it away. End quote.
ugh.
Again with the bugs. Why do they all mention bugs?
'Cause that's like the only thing as humans we have that's similar enough to like
But the thing that freaks me out is if they're all mentioning it, it's got to be true. Aliens feel like bugs. That's gross.
well,
I
maybe
don't
not
like it.
all aliens, so right? Like you gotta think of like different
Give me the
abduction
ocean aliens.
right? The ones that look like they're wearing wetsuits, I'll take those.
Yeah. The ones that are probably octopuses.
The ones that are scale free.
Mm. You read Remarkably Bright Creatures, right?
No, not yet.
Oh my god.
It's cute. I wanna read it.
It is
I
so cute. And if aliens are like that, that's what I want.
Can I
Anyway,
put my vote in on what type of alien abducts me? Thanks so much.
please, please. Chuck then remembers being taken to the bench and watching all of his friends have things done to them that they've already described. Chuck must have been the first one to be examined. He was also the one that was like transfixed. So like maybe he was being hypnotized that entire time. Like, it's okay,
A special
you know?
connection. Yeah.
Yeah. After the examinations are over, they remember being escorted back toward the tube thing and then going through it and being back in the canoe, which was now near the edge of the shore. The beings told each of them not to remember the incidents that had just occurred, and that seems to be why they didn't discuss it when they got back. Also, the fire they had built was almost out because they had been inside the UFO for hours.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, like full body examinations, but in one spot.
yeah. During the hypnosis sessions, the hypnotist asked leading questions at the end in order to know where to take the questioning to next time. They asked Chuck if he had ever seen the entities before, and this is how we learned of his childhood quote unquote ghost that I explained earlier. Not a ghost, after all.
That's somehow worse to know that they can float over you like that.
Yeah.
I'm out on every single part of this.
It still gets worse, if you
Oh
can believe
my god!
it.
Here.
Jim's paranormal events were also examined deeper under hypnosis. He was able to remember the time he fell into the hole. and also remembered that while he was down there, the beings were up above just looking down at him. He didn't say that they put him there, though, just that they watched as he begged them, without words, for help. It's possible that they did put him there as a way to explain the fact that he was missing when they realized that people were looking for him. Maybe he just can't remember what they did to him before he ended up in the hole because their memory erasure or whatever they do worked better in this incident.
They're convincing you to not talk about it with anyone.
Yeah. He also remembered why he had missing time after the sledding trip when he was about 10 years old. And that one he remembered a lot from. So as he was walking home, he saw a UFO and then was pulled up by it. Quote,
Literally beamed.
I think it pulled me somehow. It's just a feeling of a suddenly exploding, like it was pulling me apart, and then I was inside of something, end quote. So it's like, you know how when you watch, like, I don't know, any space show and it looks like particle movement.
Yeah, but
Like
they
that
literally
sounds
beamed
like
him
what
up.
they're describing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like you're floating, like your
Coming
particles
apart
are.
and
Yeah,
going, yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like that either.
I thought that that's what happened when you got beamed up, because sometimes in movies when you get beamed up from a light, it's like you're like
Yeah, I like it better when they're just like
it's like
beaming up cows and they're just flying
like the
cows.
earrings you got me, yeah,
Yeah,
like flying cow
flying
beam up.
cows.
I'm good with that.
He said, presumably inside the UFO, that they put him on a table, took off his clothes, and did something to his chest that, quote, hurts like hell, makes my chest feel like it's going to explode, like something is inside of me, end quote. After that, the beings looked at his arms and wrists, touched his penis, examined the inside of his legs, knees, toes, as if they were looking for something. And then they put something into the back of his head, like a needle. He said it felt like a burning pressure. And then they let him go. This is when he was 10 years old.
So not only are they scary bug-like creatures that are making me feel like I wanna vomit, but now they're pedophiles,
Yeah.
essentially,
Yeah,
which also make me wanna vomit, so it's like
not only are they sexually assaulting adults, they're also pedophilic. So the hypnotist also asked each of the men under hypnosis if they could remember seeing the beings after the Allagash incident. Charlie remembered what he thought was a dream he had in 1989 about the same beings coming into Jack's house when he was staying the night there. But Charlie said after seeing them, he just went back to sleep. They were there for Jack, not him. He's like, sorry, friend. This is about you. This is between you and the aliens. Chuck never had another experience. However, his wife told him that once in the middle of the night, she got creeped out by a bright light, and Chuck sleepily told her to just relax, it's only the aliens.
no longer a comforting statement.
Yeah. Jack continues to have what he thought were dreams about the aliens, which of course turn out to be abductions, and they continue to probe and prod him. This time, it's done with a rod that he says is made of crystal or maybe water, but hard water. They put it in his eye, his nose, his mouth, and it tastes like when you have tinfoil in your mouth, which is just cringy as fuck. Like, goosebumps, you know? Ugh.
Am I allowed to leave? Do I have to be here for the rest of this episode?
You have to.
Oh, okay, as soon as you said it in his eye, I was already out, and then you added, like, tinfoil, and I'm like, "What is that? What is that?" I
Yeah.
don't want it. My eyes I'm not crying if anyone's watching this. I'm just very distressed.
He remembers that they took his wife up to the UFO as well.
No.
He said that when they were taken, it was not like they were taken out of the house, they were taken straight up through the roof. And his wife, Mary,
No warning.
remembers seeing Jack go straight through a door once. So Mary was hypnotized then, his wife, but she could never relax enough to find what they told her to forget in her mind. So the hypnotist suggested using the pendulum method.
Ah, like a true lady, we have a hard time relaxing our brains sometimes.
Yeah, which allowed her to talk to her own subconscious. In doing so, she learned that there are things in her mind that she could remember if she tried hard enough. She was taken on board a UFO where she and Jack had things done to them for more than 3 hours, but not more than four, because you can only ask yes or no. So she said, was it more than 1 hour? Was it more than two? Was it
Yeah,
more than three? Was it more than four?
it's a process to get through what you
Right.
need to get through, but I think that's part of why it would benefit working through your subconscious, because
Hmm.
sometimes you have to like, unlayer those. Why can't I speak? I'm so stressed out. You all know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's
You
like an
evolve your
onion.
layers. Yeah, evolve your layers, everyone,
Evolve
okay?
your layers. Peel them back one at a time.
Oh.
Her dreams in which she sees deer with really big eyes next to her bed are actually where those memories are hidden. That is what the aliens covered the bad memories with. So basically, anytime she thinks about being abducted or anytime she is abducted, instead, they're like, all you see is a deer in your bedroom. You're dreaming about a deer in your bedroom, which is cute and also creepy. Any further experiences in Jack and Mary's house were pretty heavily hidden away in Jack's mind. He remembers the aliens visiting him in what he believes were his dreams and basically telling him to stop telling Ray what they were doing, or else it would cause harm. So he's still having dreams while he's meeting with the ufologist. And the aliens are like, stop fucking talking about us, bro. Stop telling the ufologist about us.
Why would they care about what you're sharing if, like,
Apparently, it will cause harm.
if they were friendly, you know what I mean? Like, that feels like, ugh, I don't I but why have so many other people's alien interactions not been this scary? Like
Because they're telling you to, just like when they were like, "It doesn't hurt, it doesn't hurt." They're telling you, we're friendly," and you're believing it. This is another reason why I'm scared I got abducted. Is this why I like aliens? Because they told me to like them? Like, what the fuck?
What's my
My brain
excuse
is
then?
fucked up.
Should I put Sheldon outside tonight as, like, a offering? Like,
An offering.
I am with I support.
Listen, they signaled to the UFO and got abducted. Do not do any signaling, okay?
That's true. I was thinking it would be like when you hang, like, a flag outside you're like, "You
A white
support this,"
flag.
like a pride flag. I'm just putting an alien
Yeah.
outside.
Oh my god.
I'm okay with you. I'm not comparing people on the LGBTQ spectrum to aliens, just to be clear, but, you know, when
Yeah.
you're
Also,
like
we're
a
not
Canucks
okay
or
with aliens doing this. We
yeah,
just
no,
also
definitely
don't
not.
want it done to us.
Yeah, correction. Yeah, yeah. I'm willing to sacrifice Sheldon for myself.
The blow up doll. As soon as they stick him with something, they're like, Why did he
Why is
pop?
he deflating?
Where did he go?"
He doesn't have a penis. I need to make fun because I can't deal
Yes, you
with
do.
it.
Because this is the really scary part again. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Jim had many more experiences after the Allagash incident, including the dreams that led him to finding Ray Fowler at the UFO symposium. The aliens followed him everywhere. Jim traveled for work, and through hypnosis, he was able to recall them visiting him all over America: Boston, Texas, and even California, always while he was sleeping. His encounters weren't really abductions, though, they were visits. Quote, I felt something like a small animal walking on my bed. I thought it was a cat. I realized my head was on the bed, but the rest of my body was floating at a 45-degree angle. There was this noise. Ah, wah, 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 wah. And Jesus Christ, there was this thing. I got the impression that there was another dimension there, that there was some kind of cut in dimensions, that I was coexisting with this veil type thing. I remember my legs being in the air and it was doing something to my genitals. The thought that went through my mind was it was trying to have intercourse with me. This is absolutely crazy. I can't believe this. End quote. So they're fucking raping him.
They're like
He
the
just got
dolphins
alien
of
raped.
they're like the dolphins of the galaxy.
But are they in the ocean? Are they just dolphins? Are aliens dolphins? Are dolphins aliens? What is happening?
The bad aliens are dolphins, the good aliens are octopus.
Is this why I always liked dolphins when I was little? I used to collect dolphins. Oh my god.
You know
I'm
what?
having a
I feel
crisis.
like we're I feel like we're
This is
unraveling
my
so
quarter
much.
life crisis. Shout out.
Yeah, right. My quarter life crisis. Ugh, I'm stressed out. Not only does my face hurt from laughing, but I'm stressed out. Like, this is the
Yeah.
weirdest my body has ever felt.
This kind of thing happened many times. These were the dreams, quote unquote, that led Jim to seeking help from first a neurodoctor, then, as suggested, by a ufologist. After all the visiting, these 4 victims still deal with this reality every day. Chuck had multiple strangers on his property in 1990 that couldn't be explained or had terrible excuses for being there, including an unmarked helicopter hovering overhead. Real Men in Black type. Jack was there with him for some of these experiences. Chuck has since lost contact with the other 3 now. He did an interview in 2016 in which he said he was lying about it all. However, he and all 3 men did do a polygraph in 1993 and passed them. Not that those are super hard to fake, but it would seem hard for all 4 of them to lie and say the same things. Charlie has a lasting pocket-like scoop scar on the inside of his thigh. He believes that he was visited again in 1995 and underwent hypnosis with another ufologist, but another story for another day. He now travels and talks on panels at MUFON events. Jack had a weird growth removed from his leg in 1981 that the doctors couldn't identify and actually sent off for testing at the Air Force, even though Jack had never been in the military. The Air Force doctor
Okay.
said they were just helping out because the state hospitals were backed up. It's not that big of a
Okay.
deal.
Sure.
Mhm. He and his wife Mary are also hearing humming or buzzing sounds randomly everywhere they go. Hey, guess who else does that? Fucking me, dude!
Maybe it's
I
not
hear sounds!
tinnitus, it's
Yeah!
aliens.
Okay.
I feel like you need to go to a therapist after this.
I know.
I feel like you need to go talk to somebody.
I'm scared too.
I know, I love you, I'm sorry.
He and Jim did an interview in 2015, and Jim also mentioned hearing the hum. Both twins still get visits at night sometimes, but they feel differently about them. Jim says he wakes up in the middle of the night. He can sometimes feel a malevolent presence.
Absolutely
He
not.
was fucking raped, so I
Yeah.
get the
Yeah,
malevolence.
that's malevolence.
Yeah.
That's the definition of.
Jack, on the other hand, said, quote, "The last time they visited, they showed me our galaxy and said there was this advanced civilization there who get energy from unconditional love. And he touched me, and I felt love like
Rape
you
is
love
not
your..."
unconditional love. I would just like to make this announcement on our show right now. Not unconditional love. This is abuser talk.
And he touched me, and I felt love like you love your wife or you love your mother, but times a cajillion. And he said to me,
Ugh.
"You're ready." And I said,
Oh,
"What am I ready for?" And he said, "When the time comes, you will know." And then I woke up
I
and I
don't.
cried.
Yeah, I
End
would
quote.
too. 100%.
Well, when he was saying it, he said he cried happy tears. Um,
Ugh.
yeah.
Mine are more
So
deeply
so
uncomfortable.
Jim is like, "I'm being fucking raped and this is terrifying." Jack is like, "This is awesome. They're
They gave
showing me
them the
love."
full twin test experience. They're like, "Let's
Yeah.
see how they react to 2 different" they were just fucking doing a twin study.
It's so weird. So that's that.
I
That's
hate
the
it.
Allagash abduction. I have to tell you about this picture.
Is it
Okay, so
okay.
I read this whole book, cover to cover, like the whole thing. I read all of it. All right. On this one random page, there's a picture with a little caption here.
Okay, what does the
And I
caption say?
circled it and wrote, "What?" Because nowhere in this entire book, cover to cover, nowhere is
Does it
this
reference
photo
it?
mentioned.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No.
Yes.
This is a photo of 4 people standing and one person down here on the ground, which I'll show you closer in a second. And it says, "The Allagash 4 plus 1. From left to right in the back, Charlie Foltz, Chuck Rack, and the Wiener twins. Seated man came out of the woods, stayed for a while, left, and never gave his name." What? What the actual fuck? What is happening here?
He just came out for a photo op.
Is he an alien? Is he from the future? The past? Who the fuck is he? Look it.
Yeah, he does look a lot
What?
older than them. Is he,
What
like,
is
one of them in
happening?
the future, and he's just, like, blipped back to be like, "What's up?" And then leave?
I don't understand. And it's not,
Oh.
they don't talk about this picture at all in this fucking 347 page book.
Oh, I love that you're just like, "What?"
I don't know. This is the Allagash Abductions, Undeniable Evidence of Alien Intervention by Raymond E. Fowler. And this is a scary book, but it was an adventure for sure.
So was this episode, my goodness.
Oh my
Please send
god.
me a picture of that picture as well with your
Yeah.
caption in the bottom because fuck, that's funny.
Oh
Um,
my god.
that's just like out of all of the horrors that happened throughout this book, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we met this guy."
This random fucking dude. No one knows his name.
I
He just
mean,
sat in front of us.
yeah, he was just like, "Oh, you guys are taking a photo? Okay."
Why?
It's like, you don't wanna be rude when you're taking photos, especially when you don't know people, but you wanna take photos with, like, your people too.
Right.
And this was one of those moments where they're like, "Well, I guess you're just here."
Yeah. And it's fucking 1974, so it's not like they
So
have
we
a
got
really great
limited
digital
photos. Yeah,
camera.
it's not
Yeah.
like we got a phone, we can take a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they had the it was, like, before the wind and snaps that we had. Good
Yeah.
god.
They probably asked that guy to take the picture and he was like, "I got this," and like set it up and then was like,
He, like,
you know?
misunderstood. He's like
Right, right.
setting it up. They're like, "What do we say?" They don't wanna be rude.
But like the other thing is seated man came out of the woods,
I know. I was
stayed
trying to
for
let
a
them
while, left, never gave his name. What? I even underlined that part 'cause I'm like, "Are you how seated man came out of the woods. What the fuck was he doing in the woods?
He's like,
Where did he go?
"Boo-boo!"
He
He's
left?
like,
Did he go back
"Boo-boo!"
into the woods? What?
Oh, maybe he's Boo Boo from the past. You know what? That checks out.
It's insane.
Oh my
Absolutely
god.
insane.
For those that have 0 idea what I'm talking about, Boo Boo is the, Bushman, and I know that's offensive of a term that Sierra doesn't like when I use it, that we run into when we've gone camping at Pacific Beach. He always gives us a beer. He always offers us his newspaper. He's a very nice man. We didn't see him last year. I hope he's okay. But what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
I'm really glad you brought that up at the end, as a little palate cleanser, but also I'm so concerned. I'm gonna be thinking about this man for millennia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, "Who was he?" Maybe he was one of them. Maybe he was, like, testing them. Maybe he was like, "Is this person cool? Like, are they cool enough to have their penises examined with a light?" Also, like, no one wants to see that up close, okay? No one.
Yeah. So, one thing that I probably shouldn't say because I don't know if this is considered like what's the word where you are lying about somebody?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
something with an L or something?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know what you're
Chuck,
trying to say, and I can't get it off my mouth.
yeah. So Chuck Rack is
Am I okay?
he says that he made it all up. It's like this never happened. I made it all up. And the other guys were like, "Well, you know, this happened all this time and when the time came he wanted a book deal or something and they were like,
Yeah.
no, we're not making money off of this. He's like, fine, then I'm going to tell them all it was fake. And so they're not friends anymore because he did that. He told everyone, oh, I just made it up, it's not real. But
Mm.
like it's kind of hard to make that up, but anyway, doesn't matter. That was in 2016 and it happened in 76. So
Okay, so
like
that's a
he
long
decided,
time. Yeah.
yeah, that much later that he was going to say it was fake. Anyway, the author called him a
Saying it's
macho
fake
man.
doesn't take your trauma away, sir.
Yeah. The author called him a macho man. I'm thinking maybe he just exaggerated some of the things because when he started talking about his penis stuff, it seemed like he was
It was
like
much more sexually
braggy.
aggressive, yeah.
Well, he was like they looked at it closer. They just shined more light on it.
Were they
Like
having a
what are
hard
you
time
trying
finding
to
it?
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't say that, I'll take that out.
But yeah, he
I
just seemed to be like, yeah, they
di
really wanted to know what
different
my penis looks
different
like.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
What
I don't know. Who
genuine
knows?
fear is felt, though, for sure, in all of
Yeah.
this, like,
Oh
this
yeah.
ugh, I'm stressed.
It's stressful. You have something happy to share to
Mm.
be done with that stress?
You said that right as I took the last swig of my wine, and then I tried not to laugh. My something happy is I had mentioned to Zandy that I was gonna go to his Beach Too Sandy show, and,
Oh.
that we should try and get lunch or something, and they comped our tickets, which is nice. So now I've got
Oh.
2 shows comped back to back, but I'm sad because you aren't coming.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sad
you
too.
gotta come to come to Seattle in October, okay?
Doubtful, but who knows?
Well, you keep me posted. Even if at the last minute you're like, "Yes, I'm gonna come visit you." Kevin gets the boot. But yeah, so I'm super excited about that. That was very sweet of him to offer that. Hopefully that means I get to have lunch with both of them. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Um, if not, we love Zandy. He is really enjoying New York. He says hello and he wishes you well in your move.
So
uh,
nice.
and he says he knows that that can be stressful, and
Mhm.
we definitely need to do something creatively soon. And I was like, absolutely. So that's my
Yeah.
message from Zandy slash exciting news. Very excited to go see Beach to Sandy live. I love their show.
Me
They are
too.
my palate cleanser besides, Tennish and Live Laugh Larceny,
Yeah.
we got some good palate cleansers in our books. Passages, also great, you can't listen to that at work. Definitely not safe. Mostly just because, you try and put an earbud in, and you're discreet about it, and then Robbie screams at something, and it's like, "Why is your head exploding?" So, his Robert Pattinson pillow is working overtime for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm very excited about that. I feel very, it's cool when you work in this industry for so long and you've collaborated with so many people, and it's like little wins, you know? If you look at
Fun
their schedule, if
times.
something is close to
I
you, I'm sure
did.
you'll do
None of
the
it
same.
is.
None? I didn't look at where
None.
else they were going, I
The
just saw Seattle.
closest thing to me is Tampa, and that's 5 hours away.
Well, Seattle's 4 hours from me.
Yeah, but it's also on a weekend that I have to take Sissy to her fucking dad, which is
Fair,
3 hours in the opposite
fair,
direction.
fair. It's on a Wednesday, so I'm definitely gonna have to take that day off of work, but, um, I'm excited either way. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You
I
were good
was
to go.
super excited, thinking maybe they would go to Cincinnati or Atlanta. Those things I can go to. I have a reason to go to Cincinnati. Atlanta's not that far.
Well, you couldn't go to
But
and that's why we drank
no.
to Cincinnati because it was so close from when we
Yeah, it was
recorded. It was
like
like a week.
the day after or something. It's like, I can't get there.
You can't get there that fast. You
Yeah.
should have gone to the New Orleans one. That would have been a good one,
Yeah.
especially given the topic. But anyways, that's offer will still stand for life. That's the cool part.
Yeah.
So very honored to have some cool peeps is my moral. And then the other thing that I'm really excited about is that I am like 20 pages away from finishing A Court of Silver Flames. So you will have to come over to Bitch and Wine on Patreon to to let me tell you about that. And also I started Fourth Wing and Sierra's like shitting her pants every 5 minutes about it.
Speaking of everything you just said, did you listen to yesterday's episode of Beach to Sandy?
No, I'm behind
When
on
they were
Beach to
talking
Sandy
about
right now.
reading ACOTAR and Fourth Wing.
No! Do they both read them?
Yes!
Oh my
Well,
god.
well, they both read A Court of Thorns and Roses. Um, Christine
Like
gave up
recently?
immediately.
Oh, okay.
She said she didn't like it. She's not reading anymore.
Well,
Um,
world building is a hard book, okay?
then I mean the first one isn't amazing anyway. I tell people that all the time. You have to read the second one. Zandy's reading the second one.
Yes.
He says it's better. Which duh. Okay. Christine read Fourth Wing, said she didn't like it very much, which gross. Okay. I'm disappointed. I can't wait for Sandy to read it. But she's now reading Throne of Glass and loving that, which I also love Throne of Glass. So I feel like we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Should we just have the Schieffer Sibs on for book talk?
We might have to.
Sorry,
After
guys.
you
We're
you need to finish
I'll finish it.
Fourth Wing. Zandy needs to read Fourth Wing, and we can all have a Fourth
Fourth
Wing
wing conversation.
book club conversation. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
I
Or I
can
was
talk about
gonna
Fourth Wing all day long. So
I know you can. I'm sorry that I literally got out of the shower last night and I passed the fuck out. Like I was done. I
yeah.
like had wet hair in a towel on top of my head and half like dressed, half blankets on, and Kevin's like, "Oh."
Goodness.
So my hair looks greasy as fuck for somebody that watched it yesterday because I fell asleep with wet hair in a towel.
It happens. Um
What is your something happy?
well, my something happy isn't
Besides the fact that I'm
necessarily
reading Fourth
happy.
Wing. Finally.
It's more something interesting that I've just been wanting to tell you that I found out about because I was researching this. Okay, so it started as something happy before I read this book. When I was just getting ready to read this book, my something happy was that I literally okay, let me just say that Zandy, if you're listening, this is not a dig at you, but it's also a little bit of dig at you, okay? They like to
Shots
make
are a
fun
little
of
bit
people.
fired.
They like to make fun of people who call themselves empaths, which
Yeah.
on the one hand, I get it. Everybody should be empathetic. However, I literally think that I am an empath, okay? Because
Yeah, I'm definitely an
I
empath.
have more I'm not saying I'm better than you because I have more empathy than you.
Yeah.
No, I can't control the amount of empathy I have. Okay. So the reason I say this is I was at my house the other night, my new house. It was, out in the sticks, okay? It was nighttime. I walked outside and looked up and literally started crying because I could see the stars so fucking bright that it just made me
Oh,
happy. Okay. I was
that
just
makes my
so
heart happy.
fucking happy. I was like, "Oh my god," like, I can actually see constellations and stuff. There's no light pollution out there. Like, it's
Yeah, that's beautiful.
fucking
I've seen that
awesome.
maybe 3 times in my life, and it's
So,
breathtaking.
it's so great. And I was super excited because I found this new app. It's called Enigma. Have
That's
you heard
so
of
cute.
this?
No. Well, I have heard of it, but I don't have it.
The app Enigma is, for people who have seen UFOs. It is for sightings and alerts. You type in your location of where you saw it, and you can even put a video if you want, and you can put a description of your sighting, and blah blah blah. You can record, you can, like,
That's
it's
crazy.
super cool. Okay, and there are sightings around here, and I was
Oh,
like,
I don't doubt
cool, I
it.
can see UFOs and stuff. And then I read this book and I was like, not cool, not fucking cool.
Go
So
away. Oh.
cool and not.
I
But
need Amanda
Enigma
to
is a
listen to this
really
episode and tell us
cool
what she
app.
thinks.
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll be probing after this. I don't think she will ever utter those words again.
Right?
Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
download it. Well, I wanna download Enigma, but now I'm afraid to.
I
There was
mean,
a
it's, you
video
can
of,
just read
like
about other sightings. So
no, there was a video about something that happened in Vancouver the other day, and it was, like,
there's a
blue.
shit ton of sightings in Vancouver
Oh, yeah, they happen all the
all
time,
the
but
time.
also a lot of people like, on cloudy, gross, foggy days, people misinterpret the lights around Rogers Arena that flash for the
Yeah.
Vancouver Canucks, the blue and green, as
Mm,
being, like, aliens, and I'm like, "No, you dumbass, those are your hockey colors, and that's what's flashing around the stadium right now."
yeah.
But no, we do get a lot of sightings here as well. I've had shit like, me and Kevin, like, 2 weeks after we moved in here, we saw weird lights off our balcony, and we, like, tried to follow it around the building, and then by the time we got outside and to the front of the building, we couldn't see it anymore, but it was weird. So, that's how aliens like to operate, just like a quick little flash, and they're gone.
Yeah, there's, I mean, there's so many fucking sightings. I just feel like there's so much to, I don't know, read about, learn about, see about,
Well, hopefully,
talk
it's not
about.
the end of
Yeah.
the world, so let us know what your guys' theories are, your thoughts. Do you still love the aliens? Are dolphins, bad
Not these
aliens,
ones.
are octopuses good aliens? Let me hear what you have to say. I'm so stressed out right now that I literally have not made sense this entire episode.
Yeah.
So, recording Urban Legend possibly after this will be exciting. But we love you so, so much, and we will see you next week for my what's my last topic? Disappeared episode. And in the meantime,
Keep
keep
it
it
twisted.
twisted. Twisted and Uncorked is a proud member of Weirding Way Media. Hosted and produced by Sierra Zorn and Alicia Watson. If you like the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can check out all things Twisted on our website, twistedanduncorked.com, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode.